Welcome back, everyone, to Have More Babies.
Great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into a topic that's really close to my heart, actually, the vital role new dads play in connecting, really bonding with their babies.
Absolutely. And we're drawing from a really helpful article by Omega Pediatrics. It's called Daddy's Guide to Bonding: How New Dads Can Connect with Their Babies.
Yeah, it's a great resource. Our plan today is to really dig into the practical side of things. What can dads do? And why is this connection just so incredibly important?
For both dad and baby, definitely.
And just a quick note up front, if you want to dive even deeper after this chat, Omega Pediatrics has loads more info and resources on their website. That's omegapediatrics.com.
Right. Because this matters for you listening, maybe you're a new dad yourself, or you're expecting or even supporting someone who is. Understanding this connection can make a huge difference.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. Bonding. What does that actually, what are we really talking about here?
Well, fundamentally, it's about building that strong, nurturing attachment. The Omega Pediatrics piece really stresses that this isn't just, a nice extra. It's crucial for a child's emotional happiness, even their physical health down the line.
So it's like laying the foundation for feeling safe and secure.
Exactly that. It creates that bedrock of safety that kids need to thrive. And fathers play such a key role in building it.
Yeah.
And it's good to remember the article points this out too. It might seem a bit maybe daunting at first, but it's a bond that grows. It takes time.
That's reassuring. So practically speaking, where does a new dad even begin? What are some concrete things?
Okay, so the article has some great simple starting points. One is just holding the baby. Cuddling.
Simple, right?
Yeah, but powerful. That warmth, the sound of your heartbeat, it's incredibly soothing for them, something familiar.
And I guess being that close also lets dads really start to notice their baby's little quirks, their expressions.
Precisely. Which leads right into the next point. Learning your baby's cues. Their little movements, the different sounds they make.
Like decoding their language?
Sort of. Is that cry saying, I'm hungry, or I'm tired, or maybe change me? Being responsive to those cues really strengthens the connection. You start to understand each other.
That makes sense. Now, what about skin to skin? We hear a lot about that. Why is it so significant?
Yes. Holding the baby right against your bare chest, maybe just a diaper on them or a light blanket, it's got huge benefits.
Like what specifically?
Well, the article highlights how it deepens the bond, for starters, but it also helps regulate the baby's breathing, their heart rate.
Wow.
Yeah, it calms their system, reduces stress hormones, and it really amps up those feelings of attachment for both dad and baby.
That sounds incredibly beneficial. What about using your voice, talking and singing?
Oh, definitely. So important. Even if you feel a bit silly at first, just talking to your baby, narrating what you're doing, singing little songs.
Does it matter if you can't sing?
Not at all. The article makes a great point. It's not about being pitch perfect. It's the sound of your voice. That specific sound is captivating and calming for them. Plus, it's great for their language development later on.
That's good news for many of us. And reading, even when they're super tiny.
Yes. Reading aloud is wonderful. It strengthens the relationship and, again, helps with those early language skills.
What kind of books?
Omega Pediatrics suggests things with bright colors, simple pictures. Use a soft, gentle tone. They might not understand the story, but they feel the closeness, hear your voice. It's comforting.
Okay, what about the hands-on stuff, like feeding, changing diapers? Does getting involved there help bonding?
Absolutely. When dads are actively involved on that day-to-day care, giving a bottle, changing a nappy, soothing them when they fuss, it builds this really strong sense of dependability.
Like, Dad's here for me.
Exactly. It shows the baby you're a reliable, engaged caregiver. It builds trust.
It really seems to come down to just being present, doesn't it, in those moments?
That's a huge part of it. Putting the phone down, tuning out distractions, and just focusing completely on your baby, even for short periods. That focused attention really deepens the connection and creates memories, too.
Yeah, those little moments. I saw the article mentioned going for walks.
Yeah.
Seems simple.
It is. But taking your baby out in a carrier or a stroller, exploring the neighborhood, maybe a park, pointing things out.
Look, a doggy.
Exactly. Or hear the birds. Even those simple shared observations create connection, shared experiences.
And gentle touch. Stroking their hair, holding their hand.
Oh, for sure. Tender touch is fundamental. Holding their little fingers, stroking their back, a gentle rub. It fosters that sense of safety, contentment, really reinforces the bond.
It feels like it all circles back to being tuned in,
Yeah.
responsive
Yeah.
to their needs, physical and emotional.
That's it. Showing love, responding when they cry, creating that secure environment. It's all part of nurturing them emotionally.
Right.
And, the article adds a really crucial point for dads. Take care of yourself.
Ah, yes. The oxygen mask analogy.
Kind of. You need rest, good food, some activity, maybe seeking support if you need it. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? You need to be okay to be the best dad you can be.
So important to remember. It also mentioned creating special moments. What does that look like?
Think about little rituals, unique things just between you and the baby. Maybe it's a silly song you made up or a funny face that always gets a smile.
Or goofy selfies.
Exactly. Those unique little moments, those shared jokes, even when they're tiny, they build your specific bond and create happy memories.
Okay, but let's be real. It's not always easy. The article talks about barriers dads might face.
Yeah.
What are some common ones?
Yeah, that's important to address. One big one can simply be lack of experience. If you haven't been around babies much, it can feel intimidating.
Sure. Not knowing what to do.
Right. The advice there is just to start simple. Holding, talking, making eye contact. Just get comfortable being with your baby. Participate.
Build confidence gradually.
Exactly. Which is another barrier, lack of confidence, feeling like you're not doing it right. It takes time. The article suggests focusing on those positive interactions you do have, however small.
Makes sense. What else?
Difficulty reading those baby cues we talked about earlier. That takes patience and observation, just spending time watching and learning their signals. And then there's the practical stuff, work pressures, just not having enough time. That's a huge one for many dads.
Yeah, the juggle is real.
It is. The key thing Omega Pediatrics points out is that even short bursts of focused quality time can make a big impact. It's about engagement when you are together.
Okay. And they also mention postpartum depression in dads.
Yes, and it's really important to acknowledge dads can experience it too. If you're feeling persistently down, withdrawn, or just not yourself, reaching out for professional help is absolutely crucial. It affects bonding too.
Really glad they included that. What about connecting with other dads? Does that help?
Immensely. The article suggests things like finding online dad groups or maybe local parenting workshops, sharing experiences, getting tips on sleep or feeding.
Yeah.
It helps you feel less alone.
Like a support network.
Exactly. And arranging things like play dates with other dads and their babies, it builds community, friendships, shared understanding.
That sounds really positive. Now, flipping it around, the article does touch on the downsides if dads don't manage to build that bond. What happens then?
Well, Omega Pediatrics points out some significant things. Firstly, it's a missed opportunity for developing that secure attachment, which we know is so important for the child's future.
Right.
It can also mean that dad struggles more to understand the baby's needs, which might lead to parenting that isn't quite meeting those needs, causing more distress for the baby.
I can see that if you're not tuned in.
Precisely. And it can put extra stress on the mom, too, potentially straining the couple's relationship if she feels she's carrying the load alone. And honestly, it's also about missed chances for creating those wonderful, positive memories for both father and child. That can lead to feelings of regret later on.
It really highlights how this isn't just a nice to have. It's foundational for the whole family. The article wraps up by really stressing the unique, special role dads have.
It does. It reinforces that building this connection is, well, vital and rewarding. And it happens over time, gradually.
Through all those things we talked about.
Yeah. Holding, cuddling, paying attention, talking, singing, reading. All those interactions build that strong, lasting bond.
And it's great that Omega Pediatrics frames themselves as being there to support dads through this.
Absolutely. They want dads to feel confident and supported. And again, if you want more details, more support, please do check out their website. It's omegapediatrics.com.
So just to wrap up our key thoughts today, that father-baby bond. It's huge. It's essential for healthy development. It's incredibly rewarding for dads, and it's built through everyday loving interactions.
It truly benefits everyone in the family and sets a foundation of love and security.
Which leads us to a final thought for you listening.
Yeah, think about this. Knowing the incredible long-term impact of this early connection on your child and on your relationship with your child.
Right.
What's one small intentional thing you could do today, right now, to strengthen that bond?
That's a great question to carry with you. If you found this conversation helpful, please do give us a like, subscribe to the channel for more chats like this, and maybe share this with other new or expecting parents you know.
And don't forget to visit omegapediatrics.com for more resources.
Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Thank you.
We'll catch you next time on Have More Babies.